This video shows you how to install Python program on your computer for the first time. There are two options for installing a complete Python environment. Please note that a complete environment for data analysis requires the actual Python program that you see up here, as well as an integrated development environment to process the Python language and produce a meaningful output. Python comes with its own IDE. It's called the Integrated Development and Learning Environment. But there are other popular IDEs for data analysis. And you can install one of them depending on your preference. So if you follow this step, you need to do that in two stages or two steps. Now, instead of taking this two-step approach, you can install all of the requirements from one single platform, and Anaconda brings you that convenience. If you install Anaconda, it will automatically install the Python program as well as other popular IDEs, as you can see here. And these include Jupyter Notebook, which is very popular, and Spider. There are many other platforms that come with Anaconda. The Jupyter Notebook runs in a web browser, but Spider has its own interface. If you are an R user, R programming user, you can compare this Spider with the R Studio. That's the IDE for R program. They both serve the purpose, but you will have to use them on your own to find out which one you like better. But before that, we will start with the installation of both the Python program and the IDE distribution from this Anaconda distribution platform. And I'm going to follow this website, and it brings me to this page, anaconda.com. I'm going to go to products, and I will be installing the individual edition of Anaconda, and it brings you to this page, download. And you need to choose the right version of your computer. I'm going to click on the 64-bit graphical installer for Windows. And it will take some time, as this is a pretty big size file. After some time, you will notice that the download has completed. It took me over 7 minutes, but it depends on your internet speed. Once you click on the downloaded file, you see this new window, and you can follow the prompt. Of course, you need to agree with the license agreement. Since I'm the only user on this computer, I'm just going to choose install for just me. And I'm going to choose the default destination folder. If you're installing Python for the first time in your computer, this is very important. It is better. So the recommended setting advanced option is not to choose this option, but since I am doing it for the first time, it just makes things easier than having to figure out how to link the path later. So I'm just going to go ahead and choose this. Again, this is for the first time installation. If you already have Python in your program, in your computer, it is not recommended. And I'm going to hit install. And it's working. Now the installation is complete, and I'm going to hit next. And it says working with Python and Jupyter Notebooks is a breeze with PyCharm Pro, designated to be used with Anaconda. But all of these options, you can read more about it. I'm going to hit next and finish the installation. And as suggested here, you can read about the Anaconda Individual Edition tutorial, and you can get started with Anaconda. Now you need to find out where it is installed, but instead of going into the individual directory, I'm going to show a couple of ways to see the Anaconda distribution as well as the other IDEs installed in your computer. If you click on your Windows Start button, you should see that the recently added programs are up here, and here is the Anaconda Navigator, and here is the Jupyter Notebook. They show up right up here. If they do not show up that way, you can also start typing Anaconda, and then you will see that here is the Anaconda prompt. You can click here and see what happens. Here is the actual navigator. This is what I would use. Here is the, if you want to open Spider directly, here is the option. If you want to open Jupyter directly, here is the option. I am going to choose the Anaconda Navigator, and you will see it'll open, and it should show you with this interface, or so this is the Anaconda Navigator. Here is the most importantly what I use is the Jupyter Notebook. You can launch from here. So these are all already installed. Where it says launch, you just need to click on them and they're already ready to go. So Spider is ready to go, but if you want PyCharm, Orange, if you want RStudio, if you do not have it in your computer, you can install them. But those that have the launch button in there, they're all ready to go. I already have R and RStudio in my computer, so I'm not going to worry about any of the other IDEs there. To verify that the Anaconda has been installed properly, you can go to the file, you can browse through the Windows and see where you had installed the program, and you will see that the Anaconda folder is there. Or you can follow other ways to verify that the program has installed properly. But what I'm going to do is to go to the Anaconda navigator that I showed earlier, which is this one, and I'm going to launch the Jupyter program. Okay, if I click on that, it's going to open it. As I said earlier, Jupyter runs in a web browser, and it is using my Chrome browser. So I'm going to go to a program. I organize my most of my work in my Dropbox, so I'm gonna go in there. And I have a few projects that I'm working on. I'm going to take an example from the MLS, Major League Soccer. What I have done something is to look at the MLS data for home field advantage. So it opens in a new web browser again. The purpose of this video is just to show that the program is going to work okay. So since I already have the output here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to restart and clear output. Again, you will have to see other videos to see how to work around with Jupyter Notebook. But what I have right now here is a bunch of codes that I'm going to run each chunk, each block of codes with shift and enter. Then it shows that this code ran because I see number 1 here. If it while it's running, you'll see there is a star, but as I hit shift and enter, it's going down. Okay, so what I just did here is I'm reading this MLS data from my computer, which is available in the same folder as I have this Jupyter notebook. And here is the I'm going to rename some columns that I have here. and shift enter. And now I want to verify and see the headers of my data, and you can see that this is just the head shows that my data has 4 columns, and it's just showing the first 5 observations. And here are the home team, away team, home goals, away goals. But yeah, this is all working. So it was pretty easy, and it looks pretty straightforward. I did not run into any issues. So if you follow these prompts, the steps that I showed, it should be all good to go. Happy learning Python.